Hello everybody, welcome to my Top Gun and Top Gun 2 review. Basically, I'm going to be reviewing kind of both films, giving a little bit of a review on the first Top Gun film and then slowly going into the second Top Gun film. So to kind of start out with, we'll start with Top Gun 1, just because I want to knock out both film reviews in one review. That's why the video is a little longer than usual. So in the original Top Gun, we had Tom Cruise as Maverick, Kelly McGillis as Charlie, Goose's wife, Val Kilmer as Ice, Anthony Edwards as Goose, Tom Skerritt as Viper, Michael Ironside as Jester, John Stockwell as Cougar, Barry Tubb as Wolfman, Rick Russovich as Slider, Tim Robbins as Merlin, Clarence Gillard Jr. as Sundown, Whip Hubley as Hollywood, James Tolkien as Stinger, Meg Ryan as Carol. Okay. Yeah, I just want to say, original Top Gun, that was good about it. I just start off with, I'm going to give it like an 8 out of 10 because it's a classic and all. Basically, you're following the plot along with a young aspiring Top Gun pilot Maverick, and he's trying to sit there and show up to his friends, trying to get in. There's a lot of camaraderie between the different pilots, on the bar. Little great balls of fire, kind of scene in there. Tom Cruise has got some sort of love interest. Meg Ryan as Carol. I believe it was Meg Ryan as Carol. Yeah, I think the nickname was Peggy, though, I want to say in this one. But yeah, Maverick kind of has a tendency not to follow orders and just do the riskiest things with his jet, pretty much. He doesn't really just do the jet tricks. He does other things, I kind of like, it's a little bit of a show off, all that. Honestly, the spirit of the original is pretty much like you're on the go, you're going into a jet, you're sitting there, you're gonna be the best of the best, because if you're not, you're gonna be out of the program, out of Top Gun, like bye-bye. Like Top Gun's like the Navy's top fighter pilots, the 1%. Honestly, I feel like the original still holds a spot in many people's hearts. I don't feel like it's bad or necessarily good compared to modern films. I feel like it's kind of in between if you had like a modern audience kind of watch it these days. Some of the younger generations might not get everything going on in the original Top Gun, I take it. It was a little bit more simpler times when people actually socialized, talked to each other, weren't always on the cell phones. That kind of a thing. But yeah, I say any age demographic is going to enjoy the original Top Gun. I always thought that one of the key points was obviously the relationship between Maverick and Goose. The camaraderie in the film is just legendary. What this film has over Top Gun 2 is there's actual risk. There's risk. People die. It's not everybody go home happy. I'll get into that more when I talk more about Top Gun 2. That is a spoiler for Top Gun 2, by the way. Honestly, I find that the films need to have risk, and it seems like every day risk is getting eliminated over and over and over again, and it's like, haha, we survived all this, nobody dies. I'm like, aren't we supposed to go to films, and aren't films supposed to have risk? I feel like the original Top Gun had more of a risk factor to it. Like there's actually, you're actually in the heat of the moment, you're feeling it. You're hearing the Kenny Loggins Danger Zone song. It's catchy rhythms and all that. Obviously I can't play it for you guys because of copyright, but yeah. I hope for a day when copyright stuff goes away where you can just pay YouTube like some flat amount per month, like creators can pay them a flat amount per month where you get like a boost in advertising for your your channel videos, and you also get access to the copyrighted music stuff. That would be nice, because we already have subscriptions for like Apple Music and all that. Why can't we have the same, for YouTube? I already know about YouTube Premium. I don't really see the value in it, honestly, so that's why I didn't sit there and keep it. But no ads was nice. But I know how I can bear an ad or two once in a while. Most of the time, if you watch it like on a smart TV, you can just do surveys. I prefer the surveys, honestly. They're so much easier. But back to Top Gun. Was there risk? Yes. A character dies, obviously. You obviously know who it is if you've seen the movie already. But yeah, I would just say that the original Top Gun just has that classic nostalgia 1980s kind of a feel. Let's get into the action. You had a lot of scenes with Maverick and Peggy, let's say, or Carol, they're like doing the riding on the motorcycle and all that. But yeah, like the original actress didn't even get to come back for the sequel, and I was just like, what is up with that? Like, if you're in the beginning, you should be able to come back for the sequel. I just thought that was like an oversight that she didn't get to come back for the sequel. Come on. What's the point? Yeah, there tends to be a habit of Tom Cruise whenever he's in a film that the opposite love interest has to be like young, like very young looking and all that. I'm not going to play into that too much. You obviously know what Tom Cruise is doing at his time. I know he is a very busy man, has a lot of causes he does. Obviously, I'm not going to get into it here. Well, I'm not stupid, But yeah. Does he make good action films? Yes. Pretty much. And that's what matters at the end of the day. Geez, I still got to sit there and watch the Mission Impossible series. Come on. I just kind of been busy. I was too busy over the years just keeping up with MCU stuff most of the time. MCU was like the Batman, the DC films, all that. I just really enjoy a good film where you can just sit there and just sit back and enjoy. That's what Top Gun basically is, a nice film to look back on the 80s and just enjoy it. Is there anything they could have done different? Well, you can't really judge too much because, this is in the past before, even I was around. It's just like, if you look at it compared to a modern sense, it could be like, maybe there should have been more independent women in the film, yada, yada, yada. There's always little nitpicks people can make here and there, but I think the point is to remember the context of the times that the 80s were and realize that they're a lot different compared to modern day. That's kind of how you need to look at any film review that isn't current, is kind of try to frame yourself in that time period in which the film came out. Then you kind of understand it more, and you understand that it's not going to always have every single thing you want in it that modern films do. And I'm not going to necessarily say that some things are bad, but I think that if you overload a film with too much stuff, it's not good. People come to film and cinema to enjoy the film, not be blasted with propaganda left and right, left and right, left and right. You know what I mean? There's films that make you think, like Tenet and all that, but I think that most of the time people just want to sit there and enjoy the cinema, not have every little focus be on, oh, this character's this character's that. I feel like that's really just taking over modern cinema a little too much lately. It's fine to have those moments in film. I just don't want films to become dominated by them. It just cheapens the experience for me. I go to the film to enjoy the film, not to know a character's sexuality or anything. But I do support LGBTQA+ and all that. Trans, I support you guys. You guys live like a really hard life, and it's really hard, but I just don't want every single film to just sit there and focus on that all the time. It's like, we gotta sit there and get back to a cinema experience where we can just enjoy the films again. I feel like Doctor Strange 2 does a good job of that, where they just kind of balance things out. which is great. Like, do it like more like Doctor Strange 2 and stuff. Don't overdo it. Oh man, okay. As for Top Gun 2 Maverick, what I really liked about that was the fact that you have decent visuals, a decent plot. They kind of go over where Maverick's been. He's kind of like a test pilot or whatever. He's testing a aircraft, and he manages to actually get it to Mach 10. He's trying to get it going before the general shows up and shuts it down, or the admiral tries to get there before the admiral shuts it down. Alright, let's see here. Let me get into cast list real quick, because people are going to be like, oh, you forgot to do the cast list. And I'm just like, no. I don't forget to do the cast list, like, ever. Like, you have Val Kilmer come back as Lieutenant Iceman. You have Tom Cruise come back as Lieutenant Pete Maverick. Miles Teller plays Goose's son, Brantley Bradshaw. Jennifer Connelly plays Penny Benjamin. Glenn Powell plays Hangman. Monica Barbaro plays Phoenix. John Hamm as Vice Admiral. Ed Harris as Rear Admiral. He's the one that shows up in the beginning of the film, that Admiral. Well, Val Kilmer, Lieutenant Iceman, is actually the big. It's kind of like a big fighter and tries to get he gets Maverick his job as the Top Gun instructor, basically trying to train in the recruits to sit there and go and fight in this mission. It's basically, there's a lot of back and forth between, obviously, between Maverick, Phoenix, Lieutenant Bradshaw or Rooster, and the rest of the crew, trying to sit there and get through stuff. Alright, let's see here. I want to make sure that I get everybody in here. Let's see here. Alright, let's stop. So I just want to make sure I include more of the cast list. So we have Bashir Salahuddin as Bernie Hondo Coleman. Charles Parnell as Adam Solomon Warlock. Louis Pullman as Lieutenant Rob Floyd. Jay Ellis as Lieutenant Ruben Payback, which I thought he was a cool actor in this. Lieutenant Mickey Fanboy Garcia, Glenn Powell, Hangman. Jake Schumacher, Omaha. Manny Jacinto, I want to say, or Jacinto as Fritz. Kara Wang as Lieutenant Kelly Halo. Greg Tarzan Davis as Coyote. Jake Picking as Harvard. Raymond Lee as Yale. Alright, back to the film review itself. So what I liked about Top Gun Maverick is it kind of reminds me of the past and present generations meeting with each other. We have some scenes with a lot of F-18 aircraft in this film. For some reason they couldn't get a hold of an F-35. I'm gonna guess it was probably something to do with classified stuff. The only reason given for no F-35 is radar jammers. Basically, your plot is all these Top Gun pilots have to train to take on a special mission to drop some bombs on this little Iranian nuclear shelter. But everything in this film kind of points to this plot originally revolving around a Russian nuclear site, because everything that shows up looks very Russian. There's a MiG that shows up. There's their fighters look like Soviet. They don't really seem Iranian to me. Because if it was Iranian, I don't believe they would have 5th gen fighters. Seriously. That would be a Russia thing, not an Iranian thing. I want to say the original plot had to do with Russia, not some Iranian nuclear thing. I feel like that was a last minute rewrite. Thinking back, when was that darn war? When did it start? 3 months ago? Now 100 days? Yeah, I want to say that was rewritten. There's no post-credits scene. Iceman dies of an ailment. I can't remember what the ailment is. Peggy recast, newer actress. Jennifer Connelly. Phoenix, first female pilot introduced in this. Yep. Maverick tested planes, Mach 10. Movie didn't really have much risk like the original. You get an air salute for Admiral Iceman. What else we got here? Yeah, we have a Ring of Fire. It was Ring of Fire flashback scene with Goose and Rooster sitting there and playing it on the piano or whatever for the whole club, basically, because they're all in a bar again. How original. This film's tone-wise seemed very much like you were back in the 80s again with the tone of it, or you could say like it feels like an early 2000s film for the most part. Got some action scenes, doesn't really have much else going on. Keep it pretty simple, straight and narrow. There is a surprise appearance of F-14 aircraft at one point in the film. There's a whole subplot about Rooster getting dropped from the Air Academy due to Maverick's decision on that. I'll let you watch the film to learn more about that. A lot of push-ups in this film, I must say. Like, everybody's trying to outdo Maverick and they just fail. Maverick's not having any of it. He's the best of the best. He's not going to be taken down by some new Top Gun people, you know? New Top Gun pilots. I feel like the film deserves a 9 out of 10 because it does improve, I believe, on the original in some aspects. Just kind of the tone is more consistent. That sort of a thing. But I guess the one thing that kind of got me annoyed was the less risk factor in this. Kind of hinted at that before. Like, I'll let you watch the film and kind of learn what I mean by that. You know what I mean? I don't want to give too much away here. Obviously, Milo probably sneaking in here being like, oh, I wonder if he's going to show it in the film. And I'm just like, no, I'm not going to show you anything in the film. It's just not my style. Trying to avoid copyright nonsense, you know? That's kind of my thing. That's why we do ships review. That's why we have ship gameplay in the background and not copyrighted content and then the film reviews. I intend to have this channel last a long time. No thank you, you know? I mean, geez. I feel like I'm the only one that's ever done something like this, and I want it to remain my own unique thing, and I don't want other people taking from it, you know? This is kind of more of like Landedkiller just relaxes and just talks about films and TV channel. The only channels that are really even taking off at the moment are just the racing and the main channel at the moment. The Zombies channel had a little spurt like last year when I was covering a lot of security breach. Obviously, I got to get back into that considering they're releasing a DLC at the start of next year, so I need to return back to that and get some security breach, get that finished up properly. That and Portal 1 on Landedkiller Plus, man. There's so many channels, it's hard to keep track some days. But yeah, I've been keeping busy at work. That's why I just haven't had a lot of time lately to record a lot of videos at once for you guys. Overall, Top Gun Maverick 2, like I was in like a 1970s movie theater kind of a deal. A lot of old folks were there, a lot of young folks were there, a lot of middle-aged folks were there, so I'd say this film had a pretty wide audience to it. Is there anything that's going to come after it? Well, I'll let you find out yourself. I'll let you watch the film, kind of figure that out for yourself. But I would say, you know, you got some watching of the movie to do before you really figure that one out. But yeah, the risk factor just didn't seem as high as Top Gun 1. So overall, Top Gun 1 gave it an 8 out of 10 just because it's kind of a little dated now. Some things apply, some things don't apply, that sort of a thing. There is some risk in that. As for Top Gun Maverick, is it better than the original in some ways? Yes. Plot's more consistent. There's a little bit more meat and potatoes to this film versus Top Gun 1. Like, they actually go out of the way to explain some things, which is nice. Because the first Top Gun was more of a generic action film, if we're being honest. some heart and soul of the U.S. Navy and their fighter pilot program. Big props out to those who serve in the Navy on a day-to-day basis. I respect you all as a son of a veteran that served on the John C. Stennis. But yeah, you guys you keep doing what you're doing. You keep defending our country. I salute you. Salute you in the work you do every day. Same to all veterans and all actively serving. I salute you all with this video, and I hope that you all have a great rest of your day. Honestly, I don't even know what the next film review is going to be yet. I'm going to have to sort through the old film pile again, I want to say. Unless something spectacular comes out between now and Thor: Love and Thunder, I suppose. I guess we might just have to sit there and pick up an indie film to review in the meantime. Anyway, take care. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next killer film review. Thank you.